Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly. Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Hi, this is Ohio Valley Sports Online, our Coach's Edition. RENO Saccoccia brought to you by Fort Steuben Maintenance, here from the Cartledge Fieldhouse on the grounds of Steubenville City Schools Harding Stadium. Got Coach Saccoccia here. Coach, big win, 25 years in a row in the playoffs. Your record is well noted. How you feel about that first win?
First one was great. I mean, that's just getting there right now. I mean, you never feel like that. You know, you always have as a goal and expect it, but when we got off to the start that we got off to, it was just uh, it was a challenge to keep the coaches and the players and the fans all positive, and the positive uh, vibration that all three gave just led to where we're at now.
Well, like we talked about, I think a couple weeks ago when I did the coaches show with you, the thing that I'm most impressed with is not the fact that you bounced back from those two early losses. I think you got 8 in a row now. But what we talked about, just the total improvement of the football team. I mean, from offensive line to defensive line to blocking and tackling to receivers getting open, catching the ball, to Santino Haney developing, throwing the ball down the field, making good decisions. That's what's most impressive to me about this year's team, how they've just improved as a team.
Yeah, just especially when you have as many young players as we have playing, just for them to bounce back and what they worked. I mean, they worked. They kept it in the weight room, every day, and they worked in the weight room. They worked in the pool. They worked on the field. They worked with pads. They worked without pads, and just they just kept a great attitude. And it was. I was just I was thrilled to be a part of a thing that just changed around, and I think the whole thing changed on that forced fumble against Mooney in the third quarter, and we've been on the roll since then.
Well, I agree with that. That's all the coach talk that you're talking about there, and I go along with it because the sad part is I think for the most part, fans come to expect things and maybe don't always understand the hard work and the resilience that have to come about, from these kids to get where they're at right now, from being down 0-2 to having an 8-game winning streak and in the regional semifinals.
Well, what you say is true, but I'd rather be a place where they feel like that than a place where they didn't care if you won or lost.
Yeah, I agree.
And so if I have my druthers, I'd just rather be a part of this program because our fans not only expect it, but they still back us. They expect to win, but they back us, and they proved that this year. When we needed them the most, they were there.
Well, you got Licking Valley. You were minutes away and points away from being able to host this game, but you're on the road, Coach. Let's talk about going on the road and playing Licking Valley.
Sometimes I think our players enjoy going on the road. I mean, they haven't said a word about. We really haven't talked much about whether it was home or away or whatever. We're just, it's Licking Valley. They're 11-0, and that's a great challenge to play an undefeated team. And when you look at Licking Valley, they're the most improved team in our region. And I don't say that they weren't that good last year. I'm just saying that they have the mentality of I compare them to Indian Valley. They have a mentality about they're going to run the ball and they're going to push it down your throat. And if you don't stop it, they're going to keep doing it. And if you slow it down a little bit, then they're going to come with the play action pass. They have a quarterback. They have a tailback. They have a good offensive line. They have good receivers. I mean, there's a good, fundamentally sound team and sometimes that's what brings the best out of you. And so we have to be at our best to win. And if we're not at our best, then our players know. I mean, they watch film, and I just feel that going to play Licking Valley at Licking Valley will bring the best out of our coaches and our players.
Well, it's still early in the week, Coach, and you're getting ready for this regional semifinal. What's the mental state of the team? Just they feeling good about themselves?
Well, yesterday we were pretty lackadaisical, but that's a typical Monday. After sitting and watching film, and then sitting and watching film again, and sitting and watching film again, and when you go outside, you're not as ramped up as they will be today. Today they just, we had the weight room today, and we'll get out and we'll have a good physical practice today. Tuesday's always a physical day. We'll have a good physical practice today, and hopefully we get through a good practice today, and a good rest tomorrow, and a good practice tomorrow.
Overall health of the team, Coach. I know at this time of year everybody's banged up. You can't avoid that. It's a long season, but overall health of the team. I know Kalinowski was out with a freak injury.
Yeah, he's out, but um, other than that, we're we have Kalinowski out and Nasser out, um, and they'll be out for the remainder of the year. But the other guys are we're fine, and to just to be down two people after 10 games and one of them a playoff game, I feel pretty fortunate. So, um, and we get a whole week to practice. So, the hard part is when you get somebody hurt at practice, and now it's Wednesday and you only got Thursday walkthrough. So at least we get 2 full days of physical practice, and we'll be able to see what we can do and what we can't do.
Coach, you've been doing it a long time. Any change in the routine this week?
Shorter practice. I mean, there's no change. We'll sometimes we throw a little bit of defense in first, and then get the offense and back to defense. But right now we just our kids know what the routine of a Tuesday, and Tuesday is a little bit different than the other days. But they know when they're riding up on the bus and they're coming up here to practice that this will be a little bit more physical today than it was yesterday or tomorrow.
I like that the kids are setting into a routine and they know what to expect, and then you stay with that. That got to work on their mental attitude, being prepared as well.
And there's so much difference between the regular season and the postseason, and the major difference is that if you're dedicated enough, you can bounce back after a loss. But it doesn't matter how dedicated you are right now. If you lose, you're out. So, and the kids understand that. And all the kids in the playoffs right now have a great mentality on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. It's Friday in the second half when you're trailing, where it's a nitty-gritty part of the game is when the true team comes out. And that's what impresses me most about Indian Valley. They were down 21-8 to start the second half, and they just stuck with their game plan. They stuck with 18. They stuck with one. They threw the ball 5 or 6 times in the second half, but 18-1 landed in victory, and their defense played sound. I mean, they were on the 5-yard line, 1st and goal, to take it in, and they stuffed them and held them to a field goal.
Yeah,
that's great football play, and that comes from the coaches and the seniors, and their desire to be great. And, Lincoln Valley just had a great year this year, and hopefully we'll be able to match their intensity and to match their physicality, and hopefully we can bring some of our own game. That's what I'm looking forward to see. Just to see, right now, who are we? Who are we? So not really sure who we are until you play a great team, and we're playing a great team tonight or Friday night.
Well, Coach, we got all the faith in the world in you. We wish you the best of luck. I want to thank you for your cooperation throughout the year with the High Valley Sports Online.
Well, thanks for your support. We appreciate you guys, and I just think that you owe our team a meal. Dan made all that money. He should be able to buy our kids some wings.
I agree totally with that, man. I mean, I agree. I mean, pick a day. Pick a day. We'll do that.
Well, we ate yesterday. Maybe Thursday after practice. That'd be great.
What do you want?
Wings. That's what the kids want. Wings. I hate them.
Wings.
I'm
not a big wings guy.
I look back when Grandma had her chicken coop.
Yeah.
And she used to go break the neck of the chickens, and I'd watch the chickens eat their own. And I said, Grandma, I ain't eating no chicken. And I still feel like that. So
all right, we'll get that set up with either Matt or Steve. We'll get some wings set up here. What time, Coach?
I don't know. We'll figure out a time on Thursday. That'd be great.
All right, beautiful, man.
Thursday or Saturday.
It's the best thing to do is hold Dan Vogel's feet to the fire, because he don't go to the hip too often, Coach.
His wife spends enough money for him.
All right. High Valley Sports Online, wings coming here Thursday night, courtesy of Dan Vogel's Commissions.
Thank you.
All right.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show. This is the Oak Glen segment. We're down to just 2 teams left out of our 6 in the playoffs, one being the Oak Glen Golden Bears. Coach TJ Miller, welcome to the air again tonight.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
And again, the Oak Glen segment brought to you by A&B Heating and Cooling. For all your heating and cooling needs, call A&B Heating and Cooling. TJ, it's always nice. I know football coaches over the years have always said that they wanted to be practicing on Thanksgiving. That meant they were getting toward the finals. But it's nice to be practicing in November. You guys, you had this team was 6-32 over the last 4 years, 1-9 the last 2 years, and you come in 7-3, flip things right on top of each other, 180 degrees. Tell us about the how that happened.
Yeah, coming in, I knew where they were, and I had a good talk with our athletic director Julie Zellers, and she put together a great schedule for us. So a lot of credit to her, and I was able to put together a great staff. I'm very fortunate to have a great staff working here, from top to bottom. And the number one goal was obviously to get the culture revamped and really try to set the tone and what we're about. And from day one, and I've learned over the years from other coaches and whatnot, and even myself and coaching other sports and stuff, a lot of our success came from the weight room, and we hit the weight room hard in the off season. I think it's shown this year, on the field, because we've played a lot of physical style football, and it's really benefited. It's been a great. I've received so much feedback from people in the school, our great faculty here at Oak Glen, administrators, people in the community. Just about the revamp of the culture, the way the kids act in public and, within the school and in their classes, and just all those little things. Like it adds up, and it's very refreshing to hear as a coach, hey, your guys, they carry themselves the right way. They work hard, and I'm blessed with a great group. I've said that every week with you guys. I'm very, very fortunate, from my freshman class all the way to my senior class. I have a great group to work with. Couldn't ask for a better senior class my first year as head coach. It's just this year's just been surreal to go 7-3 with a couple of games we thought we should have and could have had. We've had a great year. To pick up where we were last year, and just to kind of start fresh, clean slate. And that's what I told the boys: we're going to start fresh, clean slate. This is what I want. This is what we're going to do. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's my rules, my protocols, all that stuff. It's been such a great experience with these guys. We've had a good year. Like you said earlier, anytime you can be practicing late November, it's a great feeling. These guys, we had a great practice today. A lot of fun, a lot of focused, good stuff today. The energy is through the roof, which is great. It's just been a surreal year. I'm so pumped and excited, and I can't tell, I've said it to anybody I talk to. I'm so excited for our boys. That's who's number one to me, is our kids. And it's just been such a blessing to see these guys get to reap the rewards, get to that playoff, atmosphere. And just, it's been great. It was such a good year for us so far.
Well, I saw something from Taylor Arnott put a post up today that I read, and he's very proud to be a part of all this and happy to be back here in Oak Glen going back to the playoffs. But one thing that stood out to me, he talked about Oak Glen making this transition and coming to this success, but doing it. You insisted we do it the right way, and boy, it seems like you've had your kids at various events throughout the community. They do community service. They read to the elementary kids. They're involved everywhere. I mean, you look around, you see an Oak Glen football jacket everywhere you go.
Yeah, it's something we take a lot of pride in. We were very heavily involved in the community this year. We did a lot of stuff within the community, helping out different events. We love supporting our other sport teams. We got, a couple kids that are on our soccer team too. So we go and support them for their soccer games, and we like going and supporting the volleyball girls. And then, the other day we went and watched our girls cheer and do their performance and stuff. And we just really, like, my number one goal here was to really get a great culture set, or at least start working on it to where just everybody's supporting everyone. And I know this is very true with like any team I coach. I want a very disciplined team, obviously very accountable team and respectful team, but I want these guys involved because it's bigger than just football itself. And these guys will tell you, like, we do a lot of talks. Obviously your goal is to win football games, and that's, definitely for me too. I want to win every football game. I'm as competitive as it gets. But most importantly, I want to do my part in helping these guys stay on a good path and, obviously become very good young men and, respectful and just busy and involved and helping others. And yeah, we've taken a lot of pride in doing a lot of stuff this year within the community and, raising money for this and showing up and do stuff like that. We do some cleanups in the summer for 4th of July. Like, we went to a ton of our junior bears. We went to some practices this year and their games and their championship games. And, probably one of the most fun things I think I've done is tried to surprise those junior bears in their 2 championship games, showing up as the Golden Bear. I don't think anybody,
That was pretty neat.
I don't think anybody expected me to be the one to take the head off. And, the young kids went nuts and they loved it. And we took our team to watch their championship games and just trying to really set a good culture here and do it the right way. Be very involved in our school and our community. And fortunately, like I said over and over, I have a super, super group. My first year, they've bought in to what we wanted to do day one. They've bought into the discipline, the accountability, getting to school, being on time, doing your work. Like, and these guys, my guys will tell you, they know all about the hill. We give them hills for anything and everything, just more or less just to harp on the little things, because I'm a huge believer in you take care of the little things, it'll translate to taking care of the bigger things. And we got a long way to go, but we made a lot of great strides this year. We're still trying, obviously, to get it done now in November. And then we're going to continue to try and grow and get the numbers out and really just set the culture here. Like it's very refreshing to hear faculty members in the school, hear community members say, hey, like you've done a great job. You got a great thing going here. So, a lot of that credit goes to our entire staff, which they do an awesome job. And our kids have really bought into what we're trying to do. And I think it's shown with how they've played football this year.
Give us a quick review of the season. When your first 3 games lose the playoff, a good playoff team in Ohio, Toronto. Win your next 3, then lose the Tyler game that you probably slipped away from you. Then another good win was East Liverpool, and then Clay Battelle, who's a 9-1 playoff team. So you didn't lose any slouches. But give us a quick review of your season.
Yeah, obviously, like Weir, it's always great. We open up with Weir. Always a great atmosphere, whether it's down there or up here. We were down there this year. And that really set the tone for us. We knew going in with a rivalry game, it was going to be such a tough game. And they had their big hire with Quincy and stuff and, what he's got going on with his program. And so we knew going in, it was just going to be a big start for us. And I think it really kickstarted our season because our guys, we preached the mental side all summer long. And then they got out there and they say, we were fortunate to jump on them early and keep the foot on the gas pedal. And these guys are like, oh man, this is great. And they've bought in. We started out hot. We got some wins early on. We beat a very good St. Mary's team, which I believe they finished their season 8-2. And we beat them pretty good, which was a good win for us because that's a very respectable program. I think we were undefeated going into Toronto, which it was undefeated. Undefeated one against undefeated. And, Coach Albiel's got a great thing going on over there with Toronto. And we couldn't get it going. Like I said, back then, it felt like we couldn't get off the field in that big play, and we kept giving up the big play, unfortunately. Then put together some great wins against a good, very well-coached Steubenville Central team on the road. We played Bridgeport, got a nice win. And then, we slipped up, against Tyler. We were up in the game. Unfortunately, some turnovers got us a little bit late, and cats off to Tyler. They capitalized on those mistakes and took it to OT. It was a heck of a game. I told our kids, keep your heads up. We still got lots of season left. And, they responded very well after that. And we played a very, very athletic East Liverpool team. I know they were down, had some injuries and whatnot, but they had some very, very good athletes on the field. And that was a big win for us. Rivalry game, big win, battle the bridge. And then we let one slip away. Unfortunately, against Clay Battelle, it's like I told you guys a couple weeks ago, it was like that game, there's anything that could go wrong that night went wrong. It was one of those games, the stat line, we did very well and dominated the stat line early. I think we drove the field, our first 4 possessions, and unfortunately the turnover bug hit us. And I talked to those kids that, the ones with the turnovers, and then some of the defense guys that got beat a little bit. I talked to those guys in a positive way because they are huge players for us, and not one specific play dictated our game. There's 100+ plays in that game, and we have plenty of opportunities to go earn that win. It was just one of those nights, like I said, that anything that could go wrong felt like it went wrong for us, unfortunately. But, and hats off to Clay Battelle. Good. They had a very good year this year. We had a lot of good positives this year. A lot of good stat lines, a lot of good progress. A lot of young guys step up that we were hoping would step up on both sides of the ball. So, we had a very, very good season. We felt like we progressed throughout the year. We're still trying to, nix that turnover bug going into the playoffs. But I'm confident we will. I'm hoping our guys step up this week, and we're excited. It's a great time. So.
Well, you want to get into the playoffs. You had your bye week the last week, which is a double-edged sword, in a matter of speaking, because you can sit back, you can rest, you can heal up.
Yeah.
But in your situation, you were 15th, and you weren't 100% sure you were going to get into the playoffs. So you've got to be sitting on pins and needles. You couldn't control your own destiny. Your destiny was done. You had to hope for some things. They went well. How'd you utilize that bye week with your players? How'd you keep them from, keep the nerves down?
Yeah, the rest time was good for some of our players. We had a few varsity guys get dinged up, so the rest time was tremendous for them. I gave them one of the days off. We had some good practices in the middle of the week. We had a lot of the talks in the locker room. What's at stake here, and they understood. It was like the nerves were, like you just said, it's sitting there at 15. And we let 2 games we felt slip away that we had, we were in every opportunity to win, to kind of seal our own fate there and lock us in. But unfortunately, we had to live on eggshells for a while. And that's what it was for, beginning of the week. It was kind of like, kids were focused. We were focused. And you get to about Wednesday, Thursday, you're like, oh, man, it's almost Friday night. We're going to see where we're at. And some teams helped us out, and we kind of, the teams we kind of were thinking we're going to win, they won, and it kept us locked in at 15. And it was definitely a nerve-wracking week, especially the end of the week. I got out Friday night, had a great time Friday night where I was, and then just all night, trying to think scoreboard, trying to see the updated scores and stuff. So, our coaches chat is blowing up on Friday night with scores, updates, and all that good stuff. So we were very fortunate. Like, I felt our team worked hard this year to get in. I'm blessed and grateful that these guys get to experience the playoff atmosphere. I believe it's only the 6th or 7th time our program's made the playoffs. So, and I just had a big talk to him today about the standard. That's what we want. We want consistency, and we want this every year to be in this position or better to be talking playoffs and playing November. So it was a nerve-wracking week, but it was a good week. And we've had a good practice today, good Saturday practice, install film, all that good stuff. So it's been good. It's been good. Once we figured out the scores Friday night, it's been great.
Well, you have probably one of the longest trips for a playoff game. I know there's 60-some teams that would like to be in your shoes, but it doesn't make life any easier. What are your travel plans? It's the most northern team in the state playing the most southern team in the state.
Yeah, I think when we were down there for the meeting in Parkersburg Sunday, I can't remember if it was their head coach or their principal that was there with them, said, you guys flying in on Saturday. And we just, kind of just chuckled. And yeah, it's the very northern school, which is us, and the very southern school, Bluefields. It's a fun day. We're going to leave Friday early. We're going to try and get on a field somewhere where we can get a practice and a walkthrough. Go get a bite to eat, good team dinner, good bonding time for all of us, and do an activity with the team that night. Because I want them to get this good experience. We're going to watch a ton of film all week. We did today right after school and did on Saturday, and we're going to do it again throughout the week. So Friday, I'm going to try to get us going on a practice walkthrough, team dinner, get somewhere where these guys can be together and enjoy each other's company and bond. get a good night of sleep, and then team meal in the morning, breakfast, some film and meeting time, and then we're off to Bluefield to play a very, very good and athletic Bluefield team. Very tough team.
Well, this is a good matchup. You and Coach Simon, Fred Simon,
Mhm.
combined 41 years coaching experience as a head football coach, and combined 320 wins.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good. Unfortunately, he has 40 of the years and 313 wins. But
Yeah.
he's a formidable adversary. He's been there a long time. I know Fred. He's a good guy. He runs his program very similar to how you run yours. He's a no nonsense guy. He's been very successful.
Yeah.
What do you expect to see from Bluefield, and how are you planning to combat some of the stuff?
They have a lot of athleticism. They really do. Coach Simon, obviously, he's been around forever. Very, very good coach. Their team's very well coached. You can see it on film. Very fast team, very athletic team. They got a ton of skill. And then, some size up front. They got real good size on the line. So, they're number 2 rated in the state for a reason. They earned that, and they play a very good schedule, and they've had some great games. So, we're going to prepare like heck all week, and we're going to go ready for war and go for
We know they're going to be very athletic. There's no question.
Super athletic. You can see it on film. A lot of respect for their team, obviously, in their program. They do a great job. So, but we just had a great talk today in the locker room and Saturday. Our guys are fired up. We had a great practice today. We're going to give it everything and hopefully make a run and do what we got to do. And we're going to take it one game at a time. And, these guys see them on film. They know they're an athletic team. Are they unbeatable? No, they're definitely, beatable team, but we got to play a very good football game.
We're going to see more of a run or more of a pass from them. He's known to do both.
They're a little bit more of a pass, but it ain't by much from their spread and their numbers. You're going to get a lot of trips, a lot of spread, type shotgun offense. They like to get their athletes the ball in space. They have, numerous very good weapons. They have a very tough running back that's very quick and elusive. Receivers with good hands, quick and elusive. So, and they have a young quarterback that does a great job for them. So, a lot of respect for their offense. It's us. We got to bring our A game. We do. If we can bring our A game and fly to the football and tackle, I think we can definitely have success Saturday afternoon for sure. But we got to be confident, and that's one of the things we're talking with our boys too. Is go in there, and kind of our motto is why not us? Why not us? We know what people are saying on the outside. You read the stuff and all the stuff, Bluefield, and we get it. And we got a lot of respect for them ourselves, but why not us is our mentality, and we're going to give it heck. We're going to.
Well, this is why you play the game.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, just don't play the game, put it on paper, and go home.
Absolutely. That is why you play. There's not any other group I would love to go into battle with than my group that I have. I love these guys. They've given me everything. Our whole staff, everything they've got all year. So I expect the absolute same on Saturday. Our thing today was, I don't care who's in front of us. We're going to go in there ready for war, and we're going to strap it up. And, you're going to remember when you play GLEN, because we're going to play physical football, and we're going to get after it. And we're going to give it a heck Saturday. We're excited. We can't wait. And we know we got a very, very tough Bluefield team ahead, but we're ready to get after it.
Let's close it down today with just talking about some of your leaders, Logan Murray,
Yeah.
and Cam Carter, who doesn't get a lot of press, Cam Hebrock, Jacob Effort, who stepped in for you and did a great job. You've had some guys step up, and you have some guys that have great talent. Maddox Bowen has been a very steady quarterback for you. Defensively, your line has been, your offensive, defensive line has been awesome. Let's just talk a little bit about those guys to wrap things up.
Okay. Senior wise, Cam Hebrock, he's been a monster for us on defense. He's a force to be reckoned with. He's very tough. He leads our team with tackles with around 100. Senior leader for sure. Gets the team revved up and is very passionate. Logan Murray, same thing. Great senior leader for us. Puts a lot of work in. Very athletic, very fast kid. Makes a lot of plays happen. He's very elusive. So definitely two of our leaders. And like you said, our line has been very, very solid. You have Noah Schmidt, senior, who's also a very good wrestler for GLEN. You got Cole McGillen, who does a great job. Brandon Friend, a senior that really stepped up for us this year and has done a great job. You got Lucas Zellers, who unfortunately he had his ACL injury about midway through the season, was doing a great job for us. Christian Chappell, who has stepped in and done a great job on the line for us, putting the team first, which is what we want. That's part of the culture we want. And then you have Aaron Frohnapple doing a great job. And then obviously Cam Hebrock. So our line has been phenomenal all year for us. They've been great. And then, I talk about Maddox. I've talked about Maddox all season long. Couldn't ask for a more hardworking kid. Very coachable. He's a great kid. Love Maddox to death. He's been able to get around, I think, 800 plus passing yards in a run heavy offense. We're very run heavy, and anybody that watches us know we play physical style football. So to have 800 yards, we try to put him in positions where he can be very efficient and very successful. And he's done a great job for us this year, managing our offense. Speak highly, very highly of him. And then, like you mentioned, we've had some young guys step up, like Jacob Everett. He's got over 700 yards rushing. I believe him and Logan Murray have 2,000 combined. And, Jacob just had that 200 plus, get rushing against East Silverpool not too long ago as a freshman. So he's been a nice, not a surprise, because we knew coming in Jacob was going to be, very good for us. Very good as quickly as a freshman. Yeah, that was a great surprise, but he's done great. Cam Carter, if I could give clips of Cam Carter blocking downfield as a receiver, it is textbook. The kid gives 100%. Whether he's getting the ball as a receiver or he's blocking for our guys, like, he just sets the tone. We've scored a couple touchdowns this year off his blocks downfield, sealing, and it's such a great thing to see. You got Josh Marr, another older kid that has done great for us on both sides of the ball. So, and I'm going to be missing a few guys, I'm sure. We have a slew of kids that have done great for us. Stat wise, like I said, we've done a great job rushing the ball this year. And Maddox has done very well passing. We've tried to be balanced, but unfortunately, obviously behind the line that we have, we'd be crazy not to run the ball. So our line, I can't stress enough how great they've been for us. It's been very, very refreshing. So that's, we've had a nice year. It's a nice group of kids. And like I said, I'm very blessed with the group I have. It's been surreal.
Coach, thank you. I want to thank you for all season. You've been a great interview all year long. It's been a lot of fun riding with the Golden Bears, 7-3. Hopefully soon to be 8-3. Good luck to you on Saturday. I know it's a tall task, but if anybody's up to it, the Golden Bears are up to it. We wish you the absolute best, and I'm planning on being here next week to do this again.
I would love to be, and that's my plan too. So I appreciate you guys having me all year. You guys have done an awesome job, and I'm very appreciative. So thank you very much.
That'll take care of tonight's Coach's Show, the Oak Glen segment with Coach TJ Miller, brought to you by AB Heating and Cooling. For Dan Vogel, for Coach TJ Miller, this is Phil Rujek saying good luck to the Oak Glen Golden Bears, and good night, everyone.